Hi guys, David McMahon, Maximum Life Academy. So your wife or girlfriend has cheated on you and you're considering taking her back, or you want her back, okay? Because you'd be in a situation where you're still in love with her, you want to take her back, and she's left the marriage or the relationship, or she's wanting to come back. Either or, this video is for you. And in the video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through the 7 essential steps if you are taken aback, so this doesn't happen again, or if it does, how to protect yourself moving forward. So there's 7 points. The first one we're going to look at when you're considering taking aback is you need to establish boundaries. This is really, really important. Where guys go wrong with women in relationships, and I actually coach divorced men as well, and they can be really fragile because they've gone through a horrible divorce and then they meet a woman and then they're all in on her, okay? So they drop the boundaries, they drop the standards, they just give everything to this woman and the woman just pulls away further. That's why if you do get divorced and get remarried, the likelihood of you getting divorced again is very high, okay? So you need to get everything in place. So the boundary when you're taking your wife or your girlfriend back has to be established. You clearly defined what behaviors are acceptable moving forward. What you would have done wrong in the situation, a woman can love a man but not be in love with him, okay? For a woman to be in love with you, she has to desire to be with you. That's the key. She has to respect you. So if she can manipulate you in any way, then she starts losing respect for you. And it's your standards as well, okay? You drop your standards and you don't keep hold of your boundaries, okay? There are other factors, but I'm not going to go into that now. This is your mindset when she comes back. So you must establish boundaries, how she's going to be speaking to you. Let's say if you've had disagreements over visiting relatives and things like that, things you've not wanted to do, then that boundary has to be established when she comes back. Essentially what you're doing is you're treating this as a new relationship. You've literally got to just go forward from that with that boundary. This is a new relationship and you're not going to permit what has happened back into your life, okay? The other step is open communication. You need to create a safe space both for her and you to talk honestly about what has gone on. You can't just ignore it, okay? Another man has been intimate with the woman you're in love with, okay? That's the bottom line. Now, what I say to guys is most women are not virgins when you meet them, so she has been with another guy before she's been with you, and essentially that's what you've got to try and do that in the reconciliation phase. You've got to be able to talk through it, why she did it. And also understand the guys who cheat with married women or other men's girlfriends. They're pretty low life. I would never, ever be with another man's wife or girlfriend. I wouldn't do it. It's just not something that I would do. And I'm sure it's something that you wouldn't do either. So, excuse me. What you've got to be able to talk about this. Like, you've got to say how it's hurt you, you know, how you don't want this to happen again. And then you need to talk through the things that has happened. She needs to be honest with you, okay, why she did it. Every single time a woman cheats, and I forgot to put this at the beginning of the video, if you're dealing with a pathological cheater, a narcissist, there is no recovery, absolutely no recovery from a narcissistic woman, none. She is a serial cheater, and I don't care if you're the greatest man that's ever lived, she will still cheat on you. That's just how they are. So the narcissist is off the table. You never take them back. We're talking about normal women here who've cheated just because the relationship hasn't worked for them, okay? Understand that point. Narcissist, you can't help, okay? So when you're talking with a woman with this open communication, she's going to be accountable. Now, a woman's going to go through, when you get back on track, especially if you get in my training, which I'll offer you at the end of this video, so stay till the end and I'll tell you all about that. She's going to see you in a different light. And when she sees you in a different light, she's going to start feeling guilty. She's going to start feeling remorse. She's also going to want to try and convince you that you can trust her again, okay? But that's another video for another day. But that's going to come up in this open communication. Now, step 3 is one-on-one coaching. Do not, under any circumstances, go to marriage counseling. Never go to marriage counseling. It is an atrocious way to try and save your marriage. And you've probably gone through this before the breakup, especially if you're married. And it's adversarial. It doesn't solve a problem. It creates a problem. It highlights a problem. It doesn't deal with the solutions. So when women are having problems in their marriages and the husband isn't listening to them and they know me, then I tell them, no, don't go to marriage counseling, and send the husband to me. And then I've got to give him a wake-up call. So what I say to the woman is, you need to tell him, look, I'm going to leave you. There's an option here. There's a friend of mine, David. He has this course. I want you to go and see him. So that's what I say to female friends who know me. If it's a female I don't know and she's come across my training because she's trying to save a marriage, I tell her to be brutally honest with him. I'm going to leave you. I'm thinking about having an affair. I want you to go and see this guy. I think he can save our marriage. You don't go to marriage counseling. It will wreck everything. It's emasculating. It is the worst thing you can do. So what you've got to do is you need to seek a one-on-one coach, either me or somebody similar to me who knows what they're bloody talking about, and get to the point of why your wife is pulling away. Once you understand it, you can see the why, because most women don't realize why they're pulling away. They just don't feel that you're her go-to guy anymore. So she's looking for that outside of herself. Again, that's another video for another day. So that's 3. Get one-on-one personal coaching. You need it, okay? Because if you try and figure this out for yourself, I guarantee you've got no chance of keeping your marriage together, because it's going to take you too long to work it out. I've got the bridge. Just walk over the bridge, okay? Number 4, what you've got to do is you've got to take time for yourself. Focus on self-care and emotional healing before committing to the reconciliation. The problem, what has happened with most men, is they've got this nice guy syndrome. So what you're doing is you're constantly trying to please people, and you neglect yourself, you neglect your health, you neglect how you eat, how you look after yourself, taking time for yourself. So when a woman knows she can do that, she piles it on, loses respect for you. Men who are successful with women have time away from a woman, okay? He just says, look, baby, this is what I do, okay? She'll try and stop you from doing it because that's the way they are. But once they realise they can't stop you, they respect you, and then they like that time apart. You've got to take time away from her and say, look, we spent too much time together in the past. We need to have our lives outside of each other, so when we come together, we've got more to do. We've got more to talk about. There's more to our relationship. So go for a walk, go out for a hike, start spending time with quality men. Not your loser friends who you're hanging around with now. I guarantee it. You've got to get a new life, okay? And even if it doesn't work out for your wife, if you continue in this pattern of behavior, statistically, just go and Google the statistics of second marriages. The 60 to 70% failure rate, okay? Because you're not fixing the problem, okay? You're not looking at the problem. You're not understanding the problem. And more importantly, you're not seeing the solution. Okay, so that's step 4. Step 5, move forward. Draw that line in the sand and commit to forgetting the past and rebuild that future together. What I say to a lot of guys once they get a few months in, go and eventually renew your marriage vows. That's what you want to do. But you've got to draw a line in the sand. If you can't forgive her, then divorce her. Because it will keep coming up and keep coming up and keep coming up, okay? Me personally, I would have to, if it ever happened to me, I would have to look at the situation if I could forgive the woman, okay? I'm 99.9% certain a woman that I would marry would never cheat on me, because I understand women, and I understand the kind of woman that I would be attracted to that never would cheat on me anyway. But if you were asking me, I would have to really seriously consider if I can forgive the infidelity. I can forget the infidelity, but it's the forgiveness. If I can trust that person again, that's what you've got to look at. This is why these steps are so important. So you have to move forward, drawing a line in the sand. The guy's out of the picture. You've got to understand that it's a one-time thing that's happened. Generally, it's just a one-time thing. And she's been with guys before you anyway, so you can usually use that as a foundation or a fulcrum, whatever, just to move forward. But you have to do that. You have to forgive her. You can't bring this back up, okay? Very important. Number 6, you've got to rebuild intimacy gradually, okay? You've got to take small steps, and it's that physical closeness you've got to get back. You don't just jump straight back in. You've got to rebuild. You have to start building the relationship from the ground up. That's how you do it, okay? Marriages can be 10 times stronger from rebuilding, okay? It can happen. You can get closer. And as I've said before, when you get trained by me or somebody who's similar to me, your masculinity will get to such a high point that she doesn't want to lose you. She's then going to fall really deeply in love with you, or fall in love with you for the first time, because a lot of women marry men they're not in love with, okay? When that happens, she's going to feel remorseful, and then she's going to want to convince you that she would never do that again, all right? So these are the things that are going to happen when you're doing things right. So you rebuild the intimacy. And 7, this is important. Once is enough, okay? If it ever happens again, she must understand from you that you will walk, okay? You have to be in that position that you do not tolerate this behavior anymore. It has to be a line in the sand and a massive boundary. A woman must fear losing you. They like that, okay? They like that kind of volatility. So when they meet a man who's strong, emotionally regulated, he has boundaries, and he loves his boundaries and his standard more than he loves her, it says to her, you can provide for all her emotional needs. Financial needs are below emotional needs. Only narcissistic, pathological women go with men with lots of money or resources. That's why wealthy men who have got wealthy because they're kind of avoidant and insecure in their emotions don't know how to have a deep relationship with a woman, so they generally attract a trophy wife, okay? It's just sex, money, clothes, cars for them. So when things don't work out, the woman is going to cheat, and she's going to cheat anyway. So these guys get cheated on. They think, hang on a minute, I've given her everything. Why has she cheated? Because you've not provided for her emotionally. And because these women are so shallow, they just look for it with various men anyway. We're not talking about that. And if you are a guy like that that's been cheated on in that particular way, then you need to evaluate the situation with the woman. I've said this before, and I'll say it again. Pathology, narcissism will always cheat. They're irredeemable people. Only God can save them. But when it comes to relationships, they will blame the affair on you, okay? They have no accountability. But that isn't the case in most of the guys that I help. It's their masculinity that's dropped off that has prevented the woman from being truly connected to him and desiring the proximity to that man. We've come to the end of the video, so I'm going to give you a call to action here. It's very, very simple. There's 2 resources below the video. There's a link that will take you into my live training. Well, it's my live group, okay, where it teaches you the A's to Z's of what I call prime masculine behavior, the behavior that women are attracted to. This training is in a private members group. You can do the training at your own time, and we do have live one-on-one group calls twice a week, okay, in that group. If you need my help directly, if you want to have a one-on-one call live with me, there is also a link in the descriptions below where you can book that. 2 resources, there's 2 action steps for you to take. You can either do this on your own and it's just going to go over a cliff, or you can seek my help, and the resources are below. Other than that, like always, guys, you have a wonderful day.